Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
This is episode 136. You know, Joey, I messed up the numbers last week. Did you catch that?
That's why I said we start dating in the show notes.
Yeah. I called it 135 in one place and 136 in another, and it got all screwed up. But this is the official episode 136. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so with us talking about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, the Pittsburgh bike scene. Joey?
Yes.
Or just playing bikes. Joining us tonight, Paul and MB from Travelers Rest Hotel in Pittsburgh. Welcome, guys. It's good to have you here.
What's going on, everyone?
For having us. Hi.
As everybody knows, back in the spring, I had the great opportunity to... Actually, I spent quite a bit of time at Travelers Rest because it was there for the day before the Gap tour. Then we did the 4 days, then had a couple of days of layover, and then we came back again at the end. So... I feel like I'm like an old hat now in that.
You're family.
You're an old hat.
At this point, you're family.
I'm an old something.
You're a neighbor.
I'm not exactly sure what that is. What's everybody drinking tonight? Joey, what have you got in front of you?
I got a Kentucky Mule.
Nice. Can you hold that up? Because remember, we're on live stream now, so people can see it.
Oh, I did the lime juice around the brim, put some salt down.
Because I noticed it looks
but it's like half bourbon and half it's like the proportions are
but what does it taste like?
Tastes delicious.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
I'm jealous.
The little salt. This is the only time I've ever made it fancy with a little salt.
Mm-hmm.
I love the salt because I usually add more.
Yeah,
I usually add salt. I don't think people add salt.
You were on the old fashioned train for a while.
Yeah.
Have you abandoned the old fashioned train or no? Okay.
No, I just went straight bourbon.
Actually,
and then tried this tonight.
You were talking about it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
On our morning ride.
Well, I got birch beer, whatever that's at the store yesterday.
Ginger beer.
Yeah, sorry.
Ginger beer. And that's what goes in a Moscow
sounded good.
Mule.
Yeah. We had it with oysters last night.
I am, as you know, on the training train for Unpaved. So I'm having my polar seltzer. That's all I'm doing tonight. But I'm trying to be good.
There's less calories in this than beer.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like if I drink, because I have to drive home. I'm just trying to be responsible. I don't want to drink, one beer, 2 beers, but hard liquor, I don't know. You guys got anything y'all are consuming tonight? Any coffee, anything going on up there in Pittsburgh?
Having a coffee. Nice little plug, La Prima.
In the bike shop, we call alcohol coffee at 4 p.m. because we put it in coffee cups.
It counts. Totally counts. Absolutely.
So, Joey, I don't know why you put in my show notes. What
was MB drinking?
MB, what do you got? You got anything?
Oh, I've got Miller Lite Old Fashioned. I wish it was that, your type of old fashioned, but...
Joey, you put in the show notes that my Diverge is dying slowly and painfully.
It is. For all those folks listening, on Friday night, I was heading out to dinner with my wife, leaving the neighborhood, and Brian pulls in and just pops a spoke right there, or right in front, I don't know, and then rips it out of his wheel. His chainring bolts are rusted. It's making some noises. I got to bleed his brakes.
Well, it's you've said it before. When things get clapped out, that just means it's because you're using them.
True.
Right? You're not hanging on. Well, there's a fine line.
For you guys up in Pittsburgh, Brian just destroyed his road bike. It was... Yeah, it was horrible. I had it on display as like what not to do for your bike for like a week.
We're
working on it. I took part of it apart today.
You ever seen those like pictures of a cat that's done something wrong? and it's like they hang a picture around its neck, and it's like the shame thing. I think you had that in the front of the bike shop with like the only thing
I didn't
missing.
put anything around it. But
There was the only thing missing because it was definitely on display. It was the first thing you see when you came in the door. I was just providing you with a teachable moment for your
Younger staff.
Yeah, for your younger staff to show them how bad things can actually get when people don't pay attention and just try to tear their stuff up. So, but then, that's so weird that like last week I rolled up in front of your place with the pop spoke. And then what happened today? I was out on the tarmac and literally I got a flat in front of the bike shop. I kid you not. I was coming out of Asbury. I could not have been any closer on my route to the bike shop than when I got that flat today on the tarmac.
I'm always there for you.
I think we're both piling on some big miles, getting ready for Unpaved.
Yep.
Excited about that. How many days is that now?
That was in my segment.
Like,
All right, 33 days from today and 31 from the podcast itself release date.
podcast release date. Okay.
Which, if this is listenable through the podcast, 31 days.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful on the podcast.
Yeah, just
Don't
not
worry
on
about
YouTube.
that. Just don't worry about that.
So, sorry, Father Dave, 31 days.
31 days, Dave.
And I secured us a Airbnb.
Did you?
Well, this is off right out of the heels of getting denied from another Airbnb.
Joey's got a little backstory with Airbnb.
I've been kicked off multiple times.
Yeah, Joey spammed him for a while, and
I found a great house, and the lady denied my request. The second one went through fine.
So
the first one was like 5 minutes walking from the start line, perfect on the rail trail. Could have had some alcohol and gotten home fine. Now we're about an 8-minute drive out. No big deal.
that's not too bad.
It's not as far as Mifflinburg was.
That's right. And the nice
We
thing
were
is
kind of questioning if we were sober enough.
it's a little smaller, so we didn't have
It's
to
It's a 6-bedroom or 6-bed, but 5-bed and a crib.
So we'd put out the all call for listeners to say,
Yeah.
hey, if anybody wanted to come, like jump in our Airbnb. But now we're in a smaller place, so I think we got it full.
Yep.
So
You, me, Larry, Jess, Marcus.
yeah. So we're set, and I claim the crib. Because
Yes.
the crib was literally listed as one of the sleeping accommodations. I don't understand that at all, but I claim the crib.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it is. And that I think I'm feeling really good about Unpaved. I think you're feeling really
I'm
good.
feeling great. This weekend, we'll talk about next week, that little gravel tune-up. I mean, we definitely had way more climbing than Chris Howell put out there.
Yeah,
by
thanks, Chris.
An extra 1,000 feet. Well, no, it was only an extra 400 or 500 feet. However, it threw us off by mentally, it was an extra. I felt like it was an extra 1,000.
So
I was totally fine climbing, but mentally, and what we all talked about was, it was hard.
We went out to Purcellville, and we're going to talk about that next week. We went out to Purcellville and did a little Loudon gravel, and I think we got another little gravel adventure planned for sometime soon, just to kind of like get the
fine tuning it.
Yeah,
I'm feeling great. My climbing and stuff.
Yeah,
I just kept it at the pace I would do all day, and
yep,
I was super comfortable, and fitness was good. Kona felt great.
Yeah,
so I won't be riding at every ride until I'm paved.
Okay,
had like zero issues getting on it.
Yeah,
got back on my Anthos, have lower back issues.
Well, I'm glad.
So I will continue to ride it, but
it would have sucked popping that spoke at Unpaved. So,
yeah, well, there's that.
Yeah, although I worry, because once you start popping spokes, it's a sign.
I got a wheel set coming that might work for you.
Okay, well, we talked a little bit about that. So,
but
anyway, let's do Strava Club.
That's my wrap
and then
up.
Jump over into
31 days, Dave. All right, Matt Duster from Shady Side, Maryland. Duster. I always call him Deuce. I don't know why. Matt Duster from Shady Side with 187. Matt is the manager of Bike Doctor Annapolis.
Good job, Matt.
Always rolling around South County in Arundel. Dave B. from Wilmington, North Kakalaki with 158.7. And Sean Roberts from Woodbridge, Pennsylvania with 137.7. I don't know where that is. But our top 100, I didn't make it this week at all. We were at 126.3, even though last week was 123.6.
Oh, that's weird.
Yep, and we stayed the same at 754. Otherwise, it's strava.com/clubs/gravel travel dirt.
Awesome. Thank you. Good job, everybody. Matt, Dave, and Sean piling on the miles. Okay, so let's actually totally switch gears here. Hopefully...
Not on your bike.
Paul and Emmy, welcome to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. It's good to have you guys here.
Ryan and Joey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So to give everybody, I referenced it a little bit earlier. I've stayed at your place in Pittsburgh, but introduce what Travelers Rest is. I know you've got your little. I'm sure you have a little elevator pitch. Introduce Travelers Rest to our listeners so that gives them a little bit of context of what we're talking about.
We've been working on that elevator pitch for 6 years, and it keeps changing.
But you don't have an elevator.
What's our latest? We're an independent hotel.
Okay. So you went from being a brothel to a hostel to now a hotel?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's how we started.
Man.
Yep. Yeah. Introducing the idea of a hostel to Pittsburgh did have its downfalls. Education being one of them.
Sure.
No, we weren't, not opening a brothel, not opening a hospital, but a hostel, a place where people could stay, rent by the bed. You use the communal space. Travelers on a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Started off as that, and then like everything, COVID.
Pivot.
We started in 18, learned how to run it. 19, we learned how to teach others to run it. 2020 was going to be our year. Adventure Cycling had tuned in with us in 19, and we're like, okay, yeah, we're going to get these groups, and it's going to be great. And we had to pivot.
Yep.
So,
well, COVID has done that to, I guess, just about everybody, and it's just about trying to figure out a way to survive. And you guys have. I mean, that's awesome. Now, I want to give a shout out to you guys because I think when people hear the term, and I know we're not working under that hostile mindset anymore, but I think when people hear the term hostile, they kind of get a weird vibe. I think sometimes they kind of, you can kind of go in a lot of different directions with that. But I remember, and I think I told you guys this, that y'all's place didn't feel like a hostel. It didn't have...
It looks like the set of Clue from the pictures.
yes,
It does.
that's
Very
exactly.
classy.
And Joey's mad at me because I stole his brothel joke. He was going to actually try to slide that in somewhere.
I didn't feel it was appropriate, but Brian just does Brian.
Oh, you were joking. Okay. All right, well, whatever.
It's very like I looked at the pictures, like, oh, this looks like a set of Clue or something.
Right?
And I was like, this looks nice.
It's really like such a cool space. It didn't feel like...
You FaceTime and walk me through it.
Yeah, I did. That's right. That's right.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, because
It
I
was
was
very cool.
I was so impressed with the bike room that you have downstairs. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I know you guys are geared towards bike folks.
I mean, the building is phenomenal. It's an old executive office. The main room was put up in 1883 and then was built in stages. So it has a lot of the original charm, a lot of the original woodwork and fixtures. So we took on a really ambitious project because we were trying to, keep the historical element and trying to switch it over to a modern day hotel. There was a lot of challenges, but the place is set up for bikers. That's what we had in mind when we started it. That's why we bought the building, because of the close proximity to the trail. And it's got a garage on site that we can house about 30 bikes, and we have the truing stand and tuning stations and secure bike parking, and it's really just set up well for bikers.
I mean, that's probably the part that wowed me. Just the thought that went into that. When you're only a block off of the and you're not a block off the Gap, but I mean, that whole trail system kind of connects there, and a lot of people actually kind of call that their start of their Gap trip, even though it starts over in Point State Park. That little area right there, I think as long as you're in that area, you can consider yourselves on the Gap, and you're like a block from it. So, I mean, it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So how did you guys get through COVID? What were you able, how did you survive that?
Well, we had to come up with other ways to use the space. And so, we were able to lease it out otherwise, just through that season. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And we survived, I think, more so too. There were a lot of gifts.
Sure.
We survived it by Actually, I think we survived everything a little bit more because of taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
Where we weren't at front desk hours, we weren't here housekeeping, doing all of the reservations. It was more of a long-term space rental,
Right.
that people, that we didn't see everybody all the time.
Right.
We just saw each other
It was,
and learned to like each other, after 7 years of building it up and working really hard, so yeah, that was able to get us through. And we actually were close to continuing that. It seemed really nice to kind of be off for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that idea sounds great, but we decided against it. And I think we're really happy that we were able to open back up, and we're remembering, this is why we did it, serving all of these people coming here, traveling. And
what's this year been like? What was this season like? I know I don't want to say we're towards the end of the season because the shoulder seasons are as big as but what was this year like so far?
I think we've had a good season overall. I think we set the right expectations, and we knew it was going to take a year to switch over to the new brand and the new format. But I would say we probably put 250 bikers out this season.
Nice.
Is what I would estimate.
Now, you referenced the new format. What is the format? What does it look like? When people book a reservation or when they book a space, what are they looking at? Walk us through like what their visit is like.
So do you want me to take this, MB, or do you want to talk?
yeah, no, go ahead.
All of our rooms have become private. Before there were shared rooms where you could purchase by the bunk. So now we have all private rooms with private bathrooms that are detached, but are just for that said room.
Okay.
So with COVID, we just think that people aren't into a sharing room as much, and they don't want to share the bathroom either.
Sure.
So that's how we have kind of set it up from now on. We do have one room that's called the bunker that is on a sliding scale because we didn't want to price out, the biker that is starting in Pittsburgh and then camping all along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one room called the bunker that is set up as more of a bunk room. If one person books it, it's around $50 for the bed. And then if multiple people are in there, it breaks down to about $35, $40 per head.
Okay.
So we tried to keep in mind that, hey, we don't want to shut anyone out, but at the same time, everything has just gotten more expensive and the model makes more sense, more than a hostel.
And you've still got that communal space, and you've still got the bike garage, that all those places so it's got kind of that feel, but that idea of a private room with a private bathroom, even though, like you said, it's detached. And I can say this because I was there. I'll go back to it again. Unlike any hostel I've been to, I mean, everything is just really nice. Sometimes you go into a hostel and it's like, I've stayed in the one in Buffalo, and good Lord, I'll never do that again. I don't even want to go near that place. But it has just a different vibe. And there's the safe is in the building, which is really kind of cool, right? In that back room there, the safe that was a part of the...
we couldn't, that was part of, we couldn't say no. That thing was, since this was an office building for a mill across the street, and they ran payroll out of that vault. It was robbed in 1948. And I came across all of these headlines and, followed the whole story till they caught him a year later. And there's so much history.
Uh-huh.
I think I might've said it to you. I've said it to others as well. We feel like ambassadors to the building as opposed to owning the building. I'm just a caretaker at this point. This thing has been, so much time and energy and resources have gone into this structure. We're just here to use it for a little bit.
So let's talk a little bit about the area. So you guys are both Pittsburgh people, right? You're born raised in Pittsburgh, right? Have they let either one of you out yet?
What's that?
Have they let either one of you out yet?
We had to leave for a while to really appreciate Pittsburgh. That's for sure.
So you guys are situated and for people that don't necessarily know the geography, Pittsburgh. I'm going to let you describe it. Describe where you are in the city and what's in your backyard and where they're at.
So, if anybody knows anything about Pittsburgh, the three rivers, the two rivers meet and they form the Ohio, and that goes west. On the southern river is the Monongahela, and we're on the south bank of the Monongahela River in a neighborhood called the South Side. Trail runs along our side, but the Gap runs along the north side of the Monongahela through town. So we are in this last little industrial pocket of this neighborhood, the South Side, that used to once all be mills, and has been being built up, but we're still, there's still lots of industrial concrete trucks and warehouses still in the area. To look north across the river, you see a beautiful skyline of the city. And then just to our south, you see Mount Washington. It's just a giant hill of greenery, which a lot of people say when they come to Pittsburgh, oh, wow, I didn't think there'd be so much green in the city. So we're kind of right in the middle of this concrete jungle, but real jungle on the hill.
The thing that struck me was like how diverse the South Side really was with regard to there's a ton of restaurants and, every time I've been there, the nightlife has been like there's a really cool vibe that I think South Side, and you guys are just a couple of blocks away from the sort of the heart of all that, correct?
Right. So we're kind of removed from it, but we're so close to a 2-mile strip full of restaurants, bars, and shops. There's maybe 2 chain restaurants. Other than that, it's, lots of privately owned, couple staples still there. S&S Candy has been there since way back in the day. We've lost quite a few, but
Trying to think
also the position of our building is good because it's close to the city as well. We're only a 10-minute walk into the city. You can bike to the start of the Gap Trail in 10-15 minutes. It's about a mile and a half, a little bit over a mile and a half. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're trying to go into the city and see the shows or a lot of the restaurants, it's close by, and then Southside has plenty to offer. So and then we're only 2 blocks away from hopping on the trail. So it's just, everything is very, very accessible.
Right. And it's, that was the thing. I mean, it felt close to everything when I was there. And, we rode our bikes over and, probably just a few minute Uber ride away from pretty much anywhere you may want to go. It just was a really, really cool vibe. So what's the future look like for you guys with Travelers Rest?
Oh, it's going to be grand. Yeah. I mean, I think that this year we're laying the foundation and building the right team. I think Mary Beth and I carried the workload, the majority of it, for a long time. And I just think we're poised to really take off and move more in a direction of where we want to be. Because we want to host community events and pull a lot of people into the space. And we're starting to really have the team together and the ecosystem that's going to create these events that we're looking to start.
Cool.
In addition to just housing guests. So when people come here, there's entertainment and things going on as well.
How's Pittsburgh rebounding from COVID?
I think everyone's toss up. Go ahead, Paul.
Depends on who you ask, I would say.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people planned on the roaring 20s. As soon as we got the vaccination, we were going off. And a lot of friends that have, small businesses around town, there's staffing issues. I mean, there's hesitancy to live the way people did in the past. Yeah. So I think that it's going well. As far as occupancy rates, I think that they are down
Okay.
compared to historically. But I think that it's been excellent for us. We've been pretty much booked out on the weekends. We've had a lot of bikers during the week. We've had the lull in July and August because it's so hot. But
Right.
I mean, September and October just are jam packed.
Nice. I mean, that's one of the best. Spring and fall, in my opinion, the best times to ride the Gap. Just hands down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Joe, you got anything? Got any questions?
No, they answered the few I had.
Okay.
I've done a little research on facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be cool to go up for a couple days with Justin and do the Gap.
Yeah.
You definitely should.
Yeah. And there's lots of, if somebody's looking for a way to do it, the way we've done it in the past, and has worked really well, would be from down here, we'll drive a vehicle up to Cumberland and park in Cumberland and grab a shuttle and shuttle up to Pittsburgh, and then stay somewhere in Pittsburgh, usually the first night,
Thank you.
and then jump
Only
on the
I
trail.
knew someone that could do the logistics help with me.
Yeah, well, I've done it in the past. We've done
I was
probably,
joking.
I think Sick has done 2 trips on the Gap. I think we've done it twice.
I've never touched the Gap.
Really?
Yep.
You've never ridden the Gap?
CNO, I don't know how many times in sections.
Yeah.
Never Gap.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a different vibe than,
That's what I hear.
The
That's what you've
towpath-
always told me, yeah.
The towpath is a little more, kind of green tunnel rustic kind of thing. I love the way Gap starts in sort of very industrial spaces, and this is what I told our participants: is that you're gonna watch this transition. You're gonna start in a city, and then you're gonna be on hard top for 20 miles, and then all of a sudden it's gonna begin this transition, and it's gonna turn into this green tunnel, and then all of a sudden you're popping through these little trail towns. And that's one thing that Gap has done amazingly well, is the way that they've managed that. I think it's 5 different. There's like an alliance.
the Allegheny Trail Alliance.
You want to form an alliance?
Let's form an alliance. Be the GTD alliance. No, it's like there's 5 little independent little alliances that have come together, and the way that they've sort of revitalized those little trail towns. Really, just a neat thing to do. So,
there's been mass effort from volunteers. Those trails take so much to maintain and keep like that pristine.
Right.
Hats off to all the different groups. The trail groups are on top of it.
And you can pick and choose your way you want to do it. Like you said, there's a lot of people that camp it. A lot of people that do the B&Bs along the way. There's lots of different options on how you can make Gap work. I've done it I've done it both ways. I've done it camping, and I've also done it, by staying in like indoor lodging and, credit card, and it's whatever you want to do. And whereas with the canal and with the towpath, you're kind of, you're stuck camping, but I mean, you have to go pretty far off. The
So we have
towpath
to
a lot
haul
of
to like
times.
Harper's Ferry or somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta pick and choose. But there's plenty of places to stay, to camp all the way down the Gap. There's plenty of places to jump off in those little trail towns, restaurants, hotels, whatever you need. And obviously, I think probably the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to park in Cumberland, shuttle up to Pittsburgh, spend the night in Pittsburgh, and then hop on the trail and take 4 days to come back down to Cumberland to where your cars are. It's beautiful. It's a perfect way to do it. Perfect way to do it, if you ask me.
How many days did you say? What's your perfect?
I think 4 days.
4 days.
I think 4 days is the right number. I think with adventure cycling, we did it in 3, and I think sort of the middle of that was a little tough for some folks.
Yeah.
We had some people that struggled on both trips, that whether it was lack of preparation, which is probably was a big part of it, because it was early in the season. It was, we're coming off of that season of COVID where people weren't doing the regular patterns, and so there's lots of weirdness going on with our spring trip in that regard. But I think 4 days, not because of the effort that's required, but I think for you to be able to totally consume all of the things that you want to be able to take in. Like we had a lot of people that wanted to go to Ohio Pile and they wanted to go to Falling Waters. And it was like, okay, well, that's a long day. We can't, it's hard to squeeze that in. They wanted to know how to ride a bike. And in Ohio Pile, I don't think Ubers are really available, although they should be, because quite honestly, I know a lot of people that would want to park that bike somewhere in Ohio Pile, grab that Uber and go over to Falling Waters, do the thing, and then come back, and then off they go again on their bike. I that's just me, but I think an Uber in Ohio Pile, maybe on the weekends, would do pretty good, but it just wasn't there. So, but a little bit more time and the ability to kind of take it in. We felt like the 3 days was rushing. There was a lot of like, you're like on a schedule. I think that one extra day, and I've also done it in, I think one year we did it in 5 days, which felt a little too long. I think 4 is the sweet spot. So you guys, any different, any input on that, on the right way to do Gap?
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I've done it a couple of different ways now. I think that one of the main things, people overlook Pittsburgh. A lot of people settle in Pittsburgh, and they leave in the morning, or they'll get the train in late at night. They'll arrive at Pittsburgh at 1:00 in the morning to our spot, and then they're off. And I think they're really missing out, like with places like Bicycle Heaven. Like we send most of our people over there. If they're bikers, it's the largest collection of bikes. Like it's just always a home run. So I think it is great to get a taste of the city and then transition into the towns, these small little towns.
Agree. Pittsburgh has so much to offer. And I've done that, I think, every year is we'll go over, and Sue and I did it. We rode up towards Bicycle Heaven. We didn't go in, but, going up that side of the city, going on that other direction from where you're going to go. We went over, what's over on the other river, the little community, as soon as you say it.
You go up to Millvale.
No.
Strip District, Lawrenceville.
What did you say, district? What district?
Strip District.
Strip District, yeah. Sue and I went over there for breakfast one morning.
Not as salacious as it sounds.
No, not nearly. Not nearly.
It's really just a bunch of old hunky ladies selling their wares and meats and cheeses. It's fantastic. It's cool. And it's just also, the other thing that really struck me about Pittsburgh is how bike accessible everything is. It really felt. And now I think they've got that. Paul, you were talking about how quick it is to get over to Point State Park. It used to be a little bit more, I don't know, difficult to navigate maybe. But now they've got that little side chute with that ramp that comes down off of the bridge. It's super easy.
Perfect.
Super easy to get over to Point State Park. There's no reason. We had a lot of people in our leader notes. There was like you could go this way, or you could navigate through the city and get over to Point State Park. And, it was just completely and totally different from any of our leader notes because of all that being open. So easy to get over there. So simple to get over there. So, I would say, that's a great tip is to make sure you spend time in Pittsburgh before you head out. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when we were sorry, were you going to say something, MB?
No, go ahead.
When we were starting to design this project, we talked to a lot of outfitters that said they started in Homestead. And they would just drop it off because it was convenient. And then people would, ride into Pittsburgh, get their picture at the point. And we're just like, oh, man, you're missing out. Yeah. Like if we put some spot up that was like the base camp for, I always say the hub for tourism. Mary Beth would always do that. But I think that it was something that we saw like, hey, we love this place. We want to be ambassadors. Like, come stay with us. We'll show you a good time. We've got tons of suggestions. Yeah.
So tell me, tell folks, how can they find you guys on the web? Where can people get a hold of you? Website, all that kind of stuff.
I thought he was going to say it.
Travelers Rest. So it's sstrpgh.com.
Okay.
And we've got, Instagram is at sstrpgh, and we're on Facebook. You could go on and just see our ratings, see what people are saying about us. Nice. We work our butts off to make sure people have a good time, and I think you read over our reviews, you'll see we really try to deliver on that.
That's awesome. And I'll put links in the show notes to where people can, just jump in, click the link, and head over to you guys.
We started this idea after traveling, and when we traveled with this thing called a Lonely Planet guidebook. And that was how you found everything. It was this thick Bible of a book that, we're still catching up to. I feel 80 years old when I say I'm still catching up to social media and all of these things and posts and tweets and things. But that's all I had planned for. I got to get into the Lonely Planet, and then the whole game changed.
Everything went sideways.
It took too long to build it. It all changed.
Well, listen, guys, thanks for joining us today. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
I got one question.
So, go.
Yeah. Shoot.
It's the elephant in the room. Is it haunted?
Is it haunted?
Yes.
Haunted. Oh.
We had.
Oh, there we go.
We had a group came through. We had ghost hunters come through.
Yeah.
The Steel City Ghost Hunters.
As soon as we bought it.
They found all inconclusive evidence.
Okay.
So there was really nothing. They found nothing. Although we were surprised. Byers Pipe is the name of the company, and Mr. Byers owned a mansion over on the north side that is supposedly haunted by his daughter's nanny and somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, the history of this family is wild. They've had some tragedy for sure. So when we started digging into the history of it, it was like what we started pulling up. There's a lot of information about them.
But that was the office, and nobody would be wanting to go to work to be the ghost at
Never,
work.
I mean, that's
Who
one
would
of
want to spend eternity at work?
Oh.
that's one of my big bugaboos.
My
So,
work, that's for sure.
So that was really concerning you over there, Joey.
oh yeah,
That was really...
It sounds great, lovely, but I told my wife we were buying a house. I said, can't be haunted, can't be old.
Can't be old.
Beautiful. I love the craftsmanship and stuff.
Well,
but,
why can't a new place be haunted, though? Why can't a new place be haunted?
hey, let's stop talking about this. I'll need a lot more to drink
It was
before I go
not
to bed.
built on top of an old
Indian
cemetery,
burial, yeah.
as far as I know.
I watched Pet Sematary when I was 6. I was supposed to be in bed. That scarred me for life.
Scarred ever since.
Yeah.
That Cemetery and Poltergeist. They're two
Oh, yeah.
scariest, creepiest movies ever. I still can't watch them.
Absolutely. Sometimes dead is better. Isn't that the plot line from Pet Cemetery? Pet Cemetery?
I don't relive Pet
Mommy,
Sematary.
I played with Judd, and now I'm going to play with you.
Joey's going to have bad dreams. All right, guys. Hey, listen. Every week when we shut her down, we play a little game called This or That. We put a couple of things up against each other. You guys want to play along? Please do.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have to come up with something? Or can I just
No. We'll get.
right, then I'm in.
I am your MC for this.
Haunted or not haunted?
And let me get back to my list. And what I'm going to do is you're our guest. So MB, I'm going to toss the first one over to you. Then Paul, you answer. Then Joey, you're up, and then I will close it out with the same thing. Okay, first item up on this week's This or That. Have 600 feet of hard elevation for your last 12 miles on a ride, or 1,000 feet of easy elevation for the last 12 miles of your ride. That's kind of like an easy one, Joey. But MB, go ahead.
Well, seeing as I just did my first 25-mile trip, and that's the longest I've ever done, I'm going to have to go. I think of myself as a marathoner, so I'm going to have to go with the 1,000 feet.
At the front end. Yeah. I think that's
Got
the
it.
right answer.
Gotta
Paul-
go gradual. I'll go gradual. I'll ride the gap this direction to Cumberland every time.
Joey?
I'll do the gradual, whether it's 2,000 versus the hard 600.
Yeah.
But when the ride with GPS, Chris Howell puts together, it's an easy 600, it's a hard 1,000.
So this is a little our good friend Chris Howell over at Dirty Kitten Productions that does Dirty Kitten Gravel Race gave us a route off of Base Camp Frederick, which we followed in Virginia, and it said we were supposed to have 2,000 feet of elevation or 2,200 feet?
24.
And it ended up to be a lot more than that.
3, and we only had so much left from the last
And
rest stop,
it
or
was
like little.
all in the last 12 miles, it felt like.
It was all there.
It was interesting afternoon after we reached Philippon. Okay, second item. I think this one's going to be an easy one for you guys. The second item on this week's This or That, Pittsburgh or Cumberland. Ooh.
Pittsburgh or Cumberland?
Pittsburgh or Cumberland.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
I like Cumberland. Nope, I've got no problems with Cumberland. I've got a lot of great friends from Cumberland, but the Pittsburgh's tough to beat.
Yeah.
I can't say anything other than Pittsburgh.
Joey.
I mean, what do you guys have to think about this?
But Joey's going to answer. Joey. Oh, he's thinking.
That's tough. Well,
You
I've never
haven't
been
been
to
there.
Pittsburgh,
You've
but
never
I
been.
hear so much good stuff. We have a big Pennsylvania. We have probably more Pennsylvania followers than Marylanders.
And I talk about it all the time.
It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful on the website.
Ernie Pliers is there. Hey, Ernie.
Who's that?
Ernie Pliers. Pliers.
Oh, yeah.
REI.
Yeah, sorry. I was.
We got a lot of listeners in Pittsburgh. We got a lot of Pennsylvania folks.
It looks like a beautiful. Looks like a fun Richmond.
So I think even the long-term review.
Cumberland.
Give me the long-term review from Joey never being there is what's your answer?
I mean, roses. I think I remember roses at Cumberland. Is there a rose department store?
I don't know.
I'll go Pittsburgh for the listeners.
I was waiting for you to give us your long-term review of a place that you've never been. That's sort of like par for the course. I'm going with this is really going to bugaboo Sweet Sue because she listens and she's screaming at her listening device right now, telling me to say Cumberland, but I'm not going to say it, Sue. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Sorry, Sue.
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 Yeah, you know Sweet Sue.
Yeah, I know Sweet Sue.
Sweet Sue. I'm in Cumberland.
Whatever she says, but opposite.
Well, that means Sue's just going to have to host us all and show us the best time ever in Cumberland in order for us to be able to accurately compare.
Cumberland is like a fun old town.
Yeah, I'm going to give Cumberland.
I love Cumberland
because
it comes up in many bluegrass songs.
Yeah, Cumberland's a cool little place.
It is,
but nothing against Cumberland, but I think Pittsburgh's got it beat. So that was sort of a throwaway.
It's a small town.
Would you rather go on a long ride with someone who sings all the time, or would you rather go on a long ride with somebody who does no talk?
Who does what?
No talk. No, be quiet
talk.
Quiet as a church mouse.
I think the no talk, but I would be the one singing all the time. No way.
So Paul's answer is going to be really interesting.
He's like, it would probably be Hamilton.
Singing. I guess I'm imagining going out on the Gap and someone not talking to me for 4 days.
Oof.
I think I would just rather have someone singing.
Yeah.
If it's Mary Beth, I've already heard all of her songs. I need no one else.
I mean, you married the person who sings to you all day, every day.
Every day at work. I don't know.
Joey.
Ooh, this is a loaded question. You put this in because of my wife.
No, you were the one that said it on Monday. He's like, this would be a great this or that.
My wife generally hates climbing, yet this weekend she was extremely chipper and singing up every climb, and it was wonderful. I looked at Brian, I was like, this is good, this or that. No, I was glad. I love that she enjoyed going up. Well, no. I redid all the stuff on her bike, so she had a good setup.
Okay, so you're going to go with singing.
I'm usually talking. I'm usually singing all the time. I make up my own songs.
I'm usually
pretty
the one
vulgar,
that's singing or talking, and a lot of times on these like Gap trips or towpath trips, we'll actually make up songs about like the weekend as it's going along. Because what else are you going to do? So I'm going to definitely go with a boisterous person, as long as I got to get some caveats here. It can't be like them trying to really sing. Stop it. Just actually be nonsensical and have fun with it. That's my only caveat. Make noise, have fun. That's it. I'm going to go with that direction. Joey, did you add something else here? I don't see any or after.
Hold on.
Joey was supposed to fill in the last one. Would you rather be the person that drops your water bottle on every group ride as you're trying to pull it from the bike, or forget your flat kit every ride? And B's like, I just rode 25 miles. I ain't got a clue. What are you even talking about? What language are you speaking?
I don't even know what I'm answering.
You can pass. You can pass.
I think I would rather be the one who drops their water bottle. What is it? Every mile?
Okay. So let me give you a like an equal. It would be like you're the person that drops a drink at the bar every night.
I am already that person. So,
or forget your
I'm
wallet.
working on accepting myself. So like that seems accurate. That's already who I am. I'm going to be dropping that. But wait, what is it? Or my flat kit?
Or forget your wallet. Yeah. So you drop your water bottle, or you forget your flat kit. One or the other. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, is it bad to hey, can anybody, someone's going to be helping me put a flat anyway.
There you go.
So, I'm going to be flagging help. Because even if I had a flat kit, I would be no good.
Perfect. Paul, where are you at?
I'd much rather drop my water bottle or even forget it. I hate pushing my bike.
Nice.
Bottom line, I hate pushing my bike.
I just make sure I get a flat right in front of the bike shop. That's what I do. Joey, where are you at? Jerry, where are you at?
I think I'd rather drop a bottle.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna wood. I'm really, really good with flats.
Yeah, you are. Well, you are a bike mechanic, so
doesn't mean.
But not on group rides.
Not on group rides. Yeah, not on group rides. I am nobody. I think I'd rather drop a bottle.
I would never. I dropped a bottle one time coming down a big screamer descent. I was up with some folks in Frederick, and it actually destroyed the bottle. So I was down a bottle for the whole rest of the.
Well, I went 20 miles without water.
Well, it's because your wife's camel.
My wife's a camel and took all my water.
Drank all your water.
I had a really bad headache.
But
that next day.
Since I've gone tubeless, I mean, flat kits. I shouldn't say that, should I?
Well, there you go.
I've done it. I messed up. Yeah, but the nice thing is in the age of COVID, you can't borrow somebody else's bottle. But
I borrowed yours.
But, it's true. But in the age of COVID, you can certainly bum a spare. You can certainly bum a tube.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. There's lots of ways to go back and forth on that one, but there it is.
People are more generous during COVID as well, as far as, oh man, you don't have one here. You got, as I have found, more generous and kind and accepting.
Well, that takes care of our this or that's this week. Thank you guys very much for playing along. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. I put in my wish list for next season's tours, and Sue, as soon as it came out, she's like, "Did you put in for Gap? Did you put in for Gap? Did you put in for Gap?" So I said, "Yeah, I put it on my list." But sometimes it doesn't always happen.
You guys have wish lists?
Yeah, that's the way they do it. We get a little list at the beginning of the year, and they tell do you want to do big tours, little tours, a lot of tours, a few tours, and then here's all the list of them. Here's what are you interested in, what are you not interested in, and then you don't get anything that you actually put you were interested in. So it's just it's always kind of a crapshoot. That's kind of the way it works,
When do we get enough clout that we can call them and say we will only host?
You could do that right now. You could do that right now.
Because absolutely, Brian and Sue, they're always welcome at the Traveler's Rest.
We sure do. We sure do work well together. I'm going to be honest with you. I think so. I enjoy working with Sue, and I would do that again any day. And I'm looking forward to my next trip to Pittsburgh, because even if it's not with adventure cycling, I know that I'm going to be back to Pittsburgh. So,
well, I'm very excited about the appliance disposable place right next door.
The appliance disposal
it's all
place?
on the map.
Oh, Joey's like Google Maps.
Appliance warehouse, catty corner.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. Also, I would definitely recommend it.
So if you need
Any
a
of our
refrigerator,
appliances are from there.
Yeah, I need an auger guy.
you need an auger guy. Okay, anybody got anything else before we shut it down? Joey, Paul, MB.
No, check out the room. Like the rooms looks. When you showed me,
Yep.
check out the website. The rooms look very nice.
Go to the website.
Definitely love to take my wife up there for a trip.
We're actually launching our website. We're launching a new website
Oh, cool.
in the next 2 weeks. So
Cool.
yeah, check in. We're redoing our branding. We've got a lot of different things. Working on our exterior signage. We're going
to have a sign.
Yeah, we're going to
Nice.
sign after 3 years.
We're not a speakeasy anymore.
We're a real hotel.
I have to take because none of these people will listen. I have a story I have to share with you guys.
Just you do the website, Calvert Design Group.
No. So when we were coming back to Pittsburgh from Cumberland, the first turn, did you guys notice how long it took Sue to get back to Pittsburgh? Were you guys there when all that went
Like
down?
an extra hour and a half.
Yeah, it literally took her 4 hours. I was waiting for the slow group to come in, and then we took a shuttle back, and we actually beat them back. And because Sue didn't want to drive on any of the big highways to go back to Pittsburgh,
She took 119 and 20.
it took her almost four and a half hours.
It is a beautiful drive. I would choose that over the turnpike any day.
That was funny though. I thought it was super funny.
So don't let them push you down.
Nope. Sue, we love you. You know that's true. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. This is a listener-supported podcast by some amazing and incredible people on Patreon or PayPal. You can find out how you could join that crowd by going to where, Joey?
Wherever you want. If you want to Google us,
You could do that.
graveltraveldirt.com. Our Instagram handle is at MidAtlanticGTD. Our phone number is 410-231-6443. What's your cell phone number?
Stop it.
3850. If you want to go to the Travelers Rest website, it is SSTRG. SSTRPGH.com.
So Southside Travelers Rest.
I need new prescriptions.
Pittsburgh PGH.
They are also on the Instagram at the same handle as that.
Got it.
SSTRPGH on the gram.
Oh, God. Reading is fundamental. Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt was recorded this week from right here in Joey's kitchen all the way up to Southside Travelers Rest in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Thanks, guys.